Hello, everybody. My name is Manan. Welcome again to my channel. Today I have Elnaz. She has been living in Estonia for almost 2 years, and she is originally from Persia. So we are going to talk to her and see what she feels about Estonia overall, and how's her life, and what are her plans for the future. So,
Okay,
hello,
hello
Elnaz.
everyone, and thank you, Manon, for having me. And
Yeah, I'm so glad that you reached out to me because I have had a couple of Persian friends,
Mhm.
and they are a lot of fun. That's all I say.
Yeah, that's true. We are.
Yeah, lots of fun. So you can never get bored with a Persian friend. That's not possible,
Yeah,
no
that's
matter
true.
where where,
I don't
where
want to
you are.
brag about it, but yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to say anything. I know everything about that, so don't worry. Um, so can you introduce yourself a little bit to our viewers? Tell me a little bit more about yourself professionally and anything more from personal level you would like to share.
Well, my name is Elnaz, and I'm from Iran. I came here 2 years ago with my husband. He got a job here, so we decided to move to Estonia. And before that, we had no idea where Estonia is. And I myself, I used to be an English teacher, and then I decided to learn UI UX design. I couldn't get a job here due to recession, or I don't know why, or maybe it's because of UI UX is saturated. A lot of people are, pursuing that. So I just want to enter IT industry. So for now, I'm studying test engineering. And yeah, we'll see. I hope I can be a good QA in the future.
Hmm. So you came to Estonia because your husband got a job here, and that was about like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So can you tell a little bit about the time that you got the offer and the time that you were moving to Estonia? What was your thoughts like? What was going on in your mind? What were your, like fears, ideas? What made you move overall?
Well, the situation is in our country is not that good. So a lot of people want to immigrate. I was one of them. And we were happy about it. And we had never lived somewhere else before. So it was a good experience. And I think it was about around September when we moved here. The weather wasn't that cold, but yeah, we experienced a nice winter. We had actually we have snow in Iran. It's a misconception that people think that we have never seen snow in Iran, but here it was like -20 and the snow. It was beautiful. But for the second year, I was like, oh my god, I cannot take it anymore. I want to leave. So yeah, you probably heard about this honeymoon stage of when you immigrate to another country, there's a honeymoon stage. So in the honeymoon stage, everything was great, but then it hit me. Like I was like, okay, what is your plan? And uh, and I was like, okay, we have to move. We need a stronger passport. And here the market is small, so you don't get to find a lot of job opportunities, and especially when you cannot speak Estonian. And I didn't have any plans to study it, so that just eliminated my options. Yeah, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Hmm. Um, so I know that there are usually a lot of challenges that expats face when they move to Estonia. I mean, weather is just one of those challenges. Um, there are, of course, many other things as well, especially if you come from a very Eastern culture and background. So, what other things were really hard for you or challenging for you, especially when you got out of the honeymoon period, as you mentioned?
Um, well, the biggest challenge for Middle Eastern people is food. Like you can find a variety of different foods in Middle East, like Iran, I don't know, Pakistan, different kind of countries. Uh, but here they they don't taste really well. So, and I couldn't cook. I mean, I had never cooked before I came here, so it was our biggest challenge. It's a bit personal, but since we love food, that was a really huge problem for us. And then when we wanted to rent out a place, um, I can remember there were some cases. At first, they were like, mm, "You're foreigners. Well, okay, you can pay a visit." And then they were like, "We don't want foreigners as our tenant." So at that time, I was like, "Okay, Estonia is not that cosmopolitan. I mean, they're getting there, but not yet." Because the way that they look at people was different in other countries because they wanted to just give the apartment to an Estonian, I don't know, either Estonian or Russian. And then another problem I can think of, and they I've had some cases that people look down on me, like a, let's say, racism. um but it was just in the very beginning. I had like other cases that people came to me and say, "Wow, you're so beautiful. Your hairs are yours, or you dyed them, or you're so black." So like it was really surprising for them. I had these cases, but I had the opposite as well. And I think that would be it. I cannot think of any other right now.
Um, do you want to talk about what happened exactly or
About
not?
racism.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we wanted to go to one of our friends' house, and we were standing outside, and the guy wanted to go inside, and he looked at me like, "Where are you from?" I was like, "It's none of your business." Like I said it politely, because okay, a random guy is asking me that question in that way. I was like, and then he said, "Really multicultural," and then he left. So that was one of them. The other one, I went to Baltiam. People, Baltiam is like a bit tricky. People are
Mm-hmm.
crazy there, some of them.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to pay for, we went to this pastry shop. We wanted to pay for our items, and mm, she was like, "Paid like this," and very in a very bad manner. And once we wanted to get the payment paper, she took it from our hand like this, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that was awful actually. And then I
Um,
was talking to other people who say it's not just because of you. Some people in Baltimore are like that, even to Estonian people. So don't take it personal.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm so like, you're also like a expat and immigrant, right? So talking about the subject is really tricky, right? Like, so
Yeah,
you don't want to say that it's racism, even though sometimes you can feel it, right? Because sometimes the other person is just grumpy or they're angry and they're just not feeling like that. And
yeah,
I
yeah,
think as we feel like we have to be very sure that it's racism before we
yeah.
can say that it's something else. So this means that only like actions of like active racism, when somebody else tells something like, like multicultural, or like go home or something like that, like explicitly saying that
Mhm.
um, out loud, then you can say that it's racism. But all the other cases, I mean, in which you are denied like rental even though you have everything in order, uh, shops, all the things like that. Maybe there is a big component of race involved, but you never know, and you can never say anything about that because you will always be, replied by people saying, yeah, that's maybe it was just you, or maybe, like it was just them. So yeah, I can understand being an immigrant, how tricky that is to bring that topic. So yeah, yeah, I feel you. Um, so I'd like to move on a little bit towards. I know you were married when you came here already, and of course, when you're with a partner, it's a different kind of socialization as compared to, for example, when you're single, right? But still, you need some kind of socialization, right? You can't just
Mhm.
stay by yourself. So, how has it been for you, making friends, meeting people, hanging out? I can imagine that. I mean, back in Iran, it must have been completely different. I mean, your family, your friends, everybody's there, so this is not an issue. But here, how did you start from zero? Are you satisfied with the social life? Does How is it overall?
Actually, I'm pretty satisfied with social life here. Uh, there's this Iranian community here. People, there's a Persian store, and in Tartu, there's also a Persian restaurant. So we get to visit each other like every weekend. We play Mafia all together, and yeah, Iranian people have a lot of meetings. Um, like go for a I don't know, picnic or something. They all go together. So in the very beginning, when we arrived here, um, we had some friends who we knew from Iran, so we weren't that lonely. Um, and then they left to Germany, and we met other Iranian people, and we got together. And I also made some Estonian friends. Um, like you cannot tell them friends when you go to the gym, like acquaintance, like you say hey, hello. But the thing is, they come to you and say hi, and they start talking to you. I had this experience, and my husband got a job in a company um, in which a lot of Estonian work, and so he made like some Estonian friends, and surprisingly, they invited us over once for midsummer to their villa outside Estonia, and we spent a night there with them, and they were really friendly, and yeah, so we still hang out.
Yeah, that's really good to know because one of the things that I heard from many people is that they face a lot of socialization challenges, especially if they don't have a community here. Like a,
Mhm.
but I'm really glad to say that there is a really good Iranian community that you have, like people meeting with each other. So I'd like to move ahead and talk a little bit about uh, being a woman as compared to Estonia versus Iran. I come from also Pakistan, and there are a lot of misconceptions that people have about Pakistan. I get people asking me all the time, are women allowed to go to, like work or school or these things, and are they covered all the time, and what do you do? And I have to like often correct them and tell them that this is not how it is. But I would like to know your own experience because you also mentioned that this was your first experience living abroad. How is it being a woman in Iran versus Estonia or Europe in general?
Yeah, actually, we have the rights to study, to drive, and everything, but there's this compulsory hijab in Iran, and right now people are fighting for. But in Estonia, so we don't experience that, of course. And apart from that, I cannot say anything else. I mean, it's obvious that their educational system, everything is way better, but of course, men and women are equal in their culture, but maybe in Iran is not the case. And I think that's it. Do you have anything else in mind if you wanted to?
Like personal safety, like this one aspect, because I heard from a lot of women who say that they feel a lot more safe and secure
Yeah,
as compared, but when they come from uh, these countries, developing countries, as to here. So is that something that
yeah,
you
that's
also felt?
yeah. For instance, once mm, I was outside with my friends at two. Since I mean, it was at 2 a.m. and I wanted to leave. Nobody even looked at you.
Okay, let's move on to the aspects of overall Estonia and in general life here that you were positively surprised by. So, what are the things that you think makes Estonia a really great place to live?
Mm, great to live. Well, there are a lot of reasons. Like I think if you learn Estonian, there will be a lot of job opportunities, and also the equality between men and women here. Um, and the other one I can say is that public transportation is for free. I mean, it's something, because I paid a visit to other countries like Finland or Germany. For instance, they pay like 100 euros each month to use the um, public transportation, but here, awesome. And it's thriving in terms of IT. Um, like, and it's an I think one of the most electronic countries, one of the most, and it's getting more cosmopolitan. I mean, maybe 30 years ago, uh, just Estonian people lives here or Russian, but now like more and more people are joining, so it's becoming more and more cosmopolitan. So it means that there are more maybe opportunities for people. A lot of other opportunities hasn't been taken yet.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, that's I think the last part, because I've been living here for like 8 years now, and I feel it has changed a lot. Like the speed of change is so big, because there was a time when I hardly ever saw a colored person like me, like for weeks. Like I lived nearby Baltiam, and I couldn't see for like weeks any different colored person. And now it's yeah, it's a different story. So
Yeah,
you move anywhere and you see people. Um, which is a welcome change, but I still think that Estonia has a long way to go, because it has been a very short time. I mean, Finland has been having immigration and these people from foreign countries for such a long time. Sweden and Germany, but Estonia, it's very new, and I think public perception doesn't, or like the perception of people how towards foreigners does not change as fast as like the change happens on the outside. So the internal change still takes time. Yeah, it's you can, if you go to any rural Estonian village or place, you can actually see that in person, how Estonia was like 10, 15 years ago. um so yeah, uh planning to leave Estonia, and why do you think you would like to leave Estonia? I know we talked a little bit about it before, but I would like to, ask you again about this. What are the main reasons why you specifically would like to move to another country?
yeah. As I told you before, if you want to get a passport, Estonian passport, you need to give up on your first passport, since it doesn't accept dual nationality. And this is not this just doesn't work for me. um, and I need to go somewhere where I can get another passport apart from mine. This is the biggest problem for me, maybe Iranian people. And then you have to learn Estonian. Then you will have a lot of job opportunities ahead of you. Other than that, no. Even in IT, I've seen some internship that they need Estonian people. So that hurts, you know. You cannot just start somewhere. You cannot not start from somewhere. And I don't want to learn Estonian. I don't, I cannot get the passport. I don't want to learn Estonian. So that's a big no for me to stay here. And yeah, I believe that in other countries you can find more job opportunities. Job opportunities are also one of the reasons for me. And if you want to talk about like other reasons with lower priority, like you cannot find a lot of restaurants or shops. Maybe there are a lot of items that you can find way more expensive than even from Iran.
Hmm.
Like I don't know the price of iPhone. I can remember in the very beginning of iPhone 14 Pro Max, it was like what 1,200, but here it was 1,200 dollars. Here it was 1,600, 700 euros, and the prices are higher, even in comparison to other European countries. And for instance, a city like Toronto, there are a lot of stores, Iranian stores, restaurants. So yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, I get that. I mean, um, yeah, it is difficult, especially when you compare, like the aspect of food and restaurants and costs of living overall. I have seen that change tremendously. I mean, I remember saying that like almost 4, 5 years ago that Estonia is a really expensive place. If you compare income to wages, it's really
Mhm.
expensive. You, I mean, you mentioned something about gym. I have seen cheaper gyms in Germany and Finland, which are supposedly more
Mhm.
expensive. Um, and the electronics price overall is very, very, uh, yeah, expensive here. I mean, the other day I wanted to get a memory card, and I think I got the memory card for one around 150
Mhm.
euros in Amazon.de, and it was the same memory card, exactly the same, was double the price, like around
Wow.
300 euros in Estonia. So it was crazy. I mean, I yeah, I never wrapped my head around that, how that is. So yeah.
And also the groceries.
Yeah.
And the inflation is still there. I mean,
Hmm.
like 2 weeks ago, you can compare the prices, the price of the grocery, the items that you bought, um, today and last weekend or 2 weeks ago. Now it's like everything is more expensive. I cannot believe it because I went through this in Iran, in inflation, everyday inflation, and now we are going there as well. Estonia is going through the everyday inflation as well.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so let's coming to the end of discussion. Let's say you were able to get dual citizenship in Estonia, and let's say you were able to get a job in IT as your preferred occupation. If these two are satisfied, would you consider living in Estonia?
Mm, I don't know. It's a bit tricky. I haven't thought about it, but for now, I think yes.
Hmm.
Yep, I would. I would live here. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the food thing is also very tricky because it's very hard to explain to people how important that is because like food culture where we come from is like an entirely different thing. Like I often joke with my Estonian friends, it's like what like alcohol is for you, food is for
For
us.
us,
Like
yeah.
it's we cannot get together and not eat food. Like we cannot go out and not eat food. Like and food just doesn't mean like like baked potatoes or
Yeah,
pizza or
lots of things.
anything, yeah, pasta or something like that. Even those are not Estonian foods. So it's so important, and I get a lot of angry comments from Estonians who are like, "No, we have good food, we have all this," and but I mean, even the ethnic restaurants that I have been to, I don't think I have liked any of them.
Mhm.
None is even close to the actual thing or the taste. And I also feel that they are massively overpriced. I mean, of course,
Yeah.
they have wages to pay, they have expenses, they have all these things. But then I think that, okay, maybe it's better to, like cook something. Yeah.
At home.
Yeah. It's not, uh, yeah. So that's a big thing, food for us.
And because of this war, I think there is this inflation. And now I'm thinking maybe I would live if I had
Hmm.
those two options. Because, okay, let's face it, everything is going up day by day.
Hmm.
And I don't know. Now I have doubts. I don't know if I would stay or not.
Hmm. Yeah, the good conversation, yeah, is always like this. You change your mind, or you get closer to changing your mind. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I think we can wrap it up. Like, thank you so much, Anaz.
You're
It's
welcome.
really lovely talking to you. Would you like to mention anything? If you have a page, if you have a LinkedIn profile, anything you would want to shout out for anybody who's watching?
Yeah, well, I'm going to have my YouTube channel, maybe
Hmm.
someday in the future, but it will be in Persian, Farsi, and maybe later on I can tell you and you can tag me.
Sure. Of course, now don't worry about that. And as you also mentioned that you are currently looking for work as well, if you have a LinkedIn profile, I can put the link down in
Yeah, I
the
do have
description.
one. Yes.
And I think it would really help. I think it would really help. LinkedIn overall is great for
Yeah.
networking and these
Thank you.
things.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course, Anand. It was great having you. So thank you everybody for watching. It was really nice, and we're almost touching the 30-minute mark. So yeah, see you again next time. Bye bye.
Bye.